You may be wondering why I'm stood in the middle of this field recording this video for you. Now, it's really well documented that to spend time in the great outdoors, in nature, in green, lovely space is super beneficial, not only for our physical health, but our emotional and mental health too. However, life is busy, chaotic and crazy. So would you agree with me that we're really not getting the time of day or the hours in the week to spend out in nature to reap those amazing benefits? So wouldn't it be wonderful if we could cultivate the same kind of benefits and transform spending time in nature, creating space in our minds and tranquility in our bodies, and transform it from an external experience and make it an internal one? Now, you may be watching this video because you yourself are looking for solutions to the challenges that you're currently facing within your team. Within your organisations, you may have noticed that maybe the energy or the morale of your team has dropped, and that drop in energy and morale is having a detrimental impact on the levels of focus and productivity. Perhaps you're noticing that you're no longer feeling like a community, like a well-moulded team. Maybe that sense of belonging seems to have disappeared over the last couple of years. And despite the fact that isolation period is over, your team members are still feeling isolated. Maybe you've even noticed that some of your colleagues are struggling. They're experiencing challenges, whether those challenges are physical, mental or emotional. And those challenges are not being spoken about. They're not being heard. People are not speaking about those challenges because of fears of loss of credibility within the workplace. And so they're taking those challenges home, and then potentially your colleagues are self-medicating with alcohol and drugs. And that then is having direct consequences in a negative way to the productivity, for the level of attention, their vibrancy and their general health, which again is impacting productivity and having a huge impact on the earnings of the business. So what would you like instead? Maybe you can picture the sense of community within your team re-emerging, a sense of belonging, and that is having a huge impact on employee retention, which is saving the company hundreds of thousands of pounds potentially over a year period. Imagine that the energy levels of your team have increased and therefore productivity has risen, absenteeism has dropped, and so has the level of presenteeism. People are engaged. Imagine if you're the decision maker and you created that transformation within your team. How would that be for you? So I think you'd agree with me, to get from where you are to where you really want to be, you need a new vehicle, a new strategy perhaps. Now, what I'd like to talk to you about, the strategy that I have in mind, is holistic well-being solutions. Now, what do I mean by holistic well-being solutions? Holistic well-being solutions are where we look at the whole person, physically, mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually, to really enable people to be the very best version of themselves possible, so that the sense of fulfillment returns. People are more connected and they're able to manage their own stress and anxiety, so that they turn up for work feeling like they are present and they are well managed. Now, why is this so important? Now, in 2019, 72 million prescriptions were given out in the UK for anxiety and depression alone. With mental health being at the forefront of the NHS crisis, it's important right now that we address what's really happening. So these people that are struggling are your people. They're people that we're surrounded by. Based on an economic model, a company of 500 people invested £40,000 in staff well-being in holistic solutions, and the saving over a year period was £347,000. If you are not addressing this issue that we have, then you're leaving thousands of pounds on the table for your organisation. If this is your responsibility to look after the well-being of your teams, then wouldn't it make you feel better if you were making the decisions in appropriate way so that your team members felt valued, nurtured, and you were given simple tools and techniques to enable that to happen? Now, if you're interested in finding out more about how I can help you to provide those solutions for your team members, click the link around this video.